Once again, I didn't read the blurb before reading the book, but I did read it after, and I mean, yes, that's true, but also not quite. Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kat, and today I would like to talk about Mageborn by Stephen Aryan, the first book in the Age of Dread series. Several years after a war that was led by mages and devastated several kingdoms, magic is dreaded and feared, and yet seekers go through the kingdoms to find children with the ability to make sure they don't hurt anyone. Now, according to the blurb, one man thinks that eradicating magic is the only way to go about this, even if it means killing every single child born with the ability. And yes, you get the perspective of this guy as well, but I think it's at absolute best 4 chapters, possibly less. And yes, his actions have far-reaching consequences, but you also get many perspectives of other characters who are either attending the magic school, who are mages out in the field, investigators for the crown, an instructor at the school, another pupil, and then the most interesting character that I do not want to say much about because it would give away too much. But let's just say as soon as you get to what is actually up with this person, it gets a lot more interesting. And it was interesting before this point as well, but it just really picks up from there on out. So while you get many perspectives, many POVs, we're not talking the Song of Ice and Fire level here. It's not that bad, so you don't need to remember that many names. I think the book starts out a bit slow, at least that's what it felt like to me, despite a rather dramatic incident that starts off things. I don't know, maybe it's because I read too many dark books before this, but I know it didn't have the impact on me that I think it was supposed to have. But anyway, it starts off with something somewhat dramatic and then picks up the pace at some point further into the book. The story is really intriguing, between people stirring up fear and hate against mages and mages just trying to get by, and a couple of other people that are tangentially involved in all of these things as well. Overall, I only have 2 somewhat negative points to mention for this whole book. So per chapter you follow one character, and you would think that it's third person limited, but then sometimes they drop info or insights where I feel like they shouldn't actually know this. So maybe it's more omniscient, but then that doesn't fit with sticking just with this one person per chapter, which also ties into, if this was proper third person limited, then I think their voices could have been a bit more distinct, because sometimes when a chapter starts and it doesn't instantly tell you it's this person or their name gets mentioned, then it could have been almost any of them. The second part is, I think the exposition could have been woven in a bit better at points. Sometimes a character just looks at another side character and gives you info about them where you're like, is this really what you're thinking about in this situation? Like something is going on and they're just looking at somebody. It's like, oh yeah, back when they fought in the war, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, and we kind of need this info, yes, but I'm not sure that was the best way to put it in there. The world building is quite interesting with how the magic works, and we do have other species beyond humans as well, but we only see very few of them. One of the characters is friends with somebody from a different species, but I think at best she's around for 1 page. And then we see the equivalent of elves, I think, but the dark elves, more like. But she doesn't do much either. But another one of her species gets mentioned in the past of one of the students at the magic school. And yeah, dark elf material, I'd say. But I hope there will be more of these other species in the next books. I found the web of religion, gods, magic and politics, really intriguing and will definitely keep going with this series. So if a political fantasy is up your alley that gets a bit dark at points, then this might be for you. I'd say it deserves this cat, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite political fantasy book? Like and subscribe if you want to help this channel out, and I'll be back next week with another video. Bye folks!